Has everyone caught up with Glock? Well, this video saddens me a little bit, but I had to talk about it. Now, a lot of people have accused me of, oh, you're just a Glock fanboy, which is true. I'm a Glock enthusiast. I think they're one of the best. But they've also stated, you're working for Glock. You know, Glock is the worst. It's weird how polarizing Glock is. People either love it or hate it. But I don't think you can deny that Glock has always been one of the best pistols out there you can buy. Striker fired polymer semi-auto pistol. They just run really well. Now, they do have some issues, and I think they are falling behind the times. And what really struck me was a couple weeks ago, I was out shooting with Chuke from Alaskan Ballistics. We compared the Gen 4 and 5 Glock 20. We had some problems with the Gen 4 before we had some problems with the Gen 5. I also brought a couple other 10 millimeters out there while we were filming all these videos we shot. I think the FN 510 Tactical is one of the best 10 millimeters you can buy. But I straight up asked Chuke what he thought about the Glock 20 versus the Springfield XDM, because I'm sort of leaning towards the Springfield XDM. A lot of people move up here and I'll work with them, and you know, they'll say, hey, what 10 millimeter should I get? You know, they want to spend about $550, something like that. I'm starting to say the XDM just because of the trigger. It's just as reliable, if not more reliable, than a Glock. But after shooting, it really struck me that Chuke said this Elite XDM 4.5 inch is a way better pistol than the Glock 20 Gen 4 and 5. It's got a better recoil, guide rod, spring system. It's got a better barrel, and it's got a way better trigger by far. And so that really struck me like, wow, these companies are really catching up with Glock. Now, Glock has always been very reliable because they have really loose tolerances. This is an older, the Gen 3 Glock 23. Now, normally I would not carry just a Glock 23. However, this has been modified, and that kind of is part of my point, is these other companies are coming out with these pistols that have all these options. This has been cut for an RMR. It's had new sights put on. It's had its grip redone, and it has a Lone Wolf barrel in it. And even though this is 40 Smith & Wesson, a lot of people make fun of it, with this Lone Wolf barrel, because it is fit so well, the chamber support and the extra length, I'm getting almost 10 millimeter power out of some rounds. Not quite 10 millimeter, but getting close, which is really impressive. I will have a video out on this. But I carry this, but it's sad that you can't buy a Glock stock like this. I mean, they have the new MOS system, but the plates are horrible. You know, they'll wear out after a while. And a lot of the sights are still the plastic Glock sights, and the triggers are horrid. So I haven't replaced the trigger on this yet. But that just goes to show you, if you're going to buy a Glock, say for around $500, oh, but now you need iron night sights. Now you need a better trigger upgrade. If you want to shoot hard cast, or you know, want a little bit better functioning barrel, you get a KKM barrel for it. So you're almost the same price of the pistol itself. You're adding these on. Why not get, you know, a custom 1911 for the price that you're going to pay for all these add-ons for your Glock? Now, what's kind of interesting is, even though I still think Glock is one of the best, I now go for high-end Glock clones that already have that all done. We're talking Shadow Systems and Zev. That Zev OC9 Compact was one of the best, you know, shooters I've ever had. That was a Gen 3 Glock clone that just had an ultimate trigger, a better grip angle, the same grip angle as a 1911, better sights coming stock on it. It's just amazing. And now the stuff that Shadow Systems is putting out, I won't really buy a lot of stock Glocks if I can get what I really want in a Zev or a Shadow Systems. So I also have to talk about the P365, that has recently kind of overshadowed the Glock 48 and 43X. I feel they were neck and neck for a while, but now by far, from what I've seen, the P365 is selling. People are turning toward it more. It's selling more. You've just got, and I know I've done some videos about, you know, the problems that they've had, but the ones I've had, I personally never had a problem. That Legion AGX P365 is probably one of the best thin carry 9mm I've ever shot. I'm just enamored with that pistol. The whole P365 line is just amazing, and I tend to lean towards that compared to a Glock 43X or a 48. Now, 4 years ago, I would have been shocked. To me, Glock was still number one, was still, you know, above everything, but the technology has advanced. These other companies, it's not that hard to put out a pistol that's reliable. So these other companies are putting out stuff that's just as reliable as Glock, but they come stock with all these options. Now, do I think Glock is just garbage now? Of course not. It is still, for the price, one of the most reliable firearms you can get. What I'm saying is I'm turning to Glock clones and other pistols that have all these options that are just as reliable. I mean, you can't say that a Springfield XDM is not reliable. They torture tested that thing with tens of thousands of rounds, the 10mm, and it just runs. And I think now that it's a better option than a Glock 20. Now, it's kind of sad that I've come to this point in my life where all these years I've been saying Glock 20 is king. Now, will I come crawling back to the Glock 20 someday? Probably, just because that's how I roll, just kind of going up and down. But as of today, and this point in time, someone asked me, you know, what should I get? I just moved to Alaska. I want, you know, a decent 10mm for $550. I'm going to say a Springfield XDM 4.5. That's just what I'm going to say. That's better than a Glock 20. Now, a lot of guys still have their Glock 20 Gen 4s with KKM barrels. They're running great. That's great. So, you know, that sometimes that's all you need. The Gen 4 I had never had any problems. Now, despite everything I've said, I hope now that Glock sees, oh man, the P365 has eclipsed our 43X. You know, people are buying Zevs and shadow systems above our Glock 19. The Springfield XDM is outshining the Glock 20. I'm hoping that they start making some bigger changes other than, oh, we've, you know, added capacity to this, or we've added front serrations to the slide of that, but making some big changes. What we want to see, pistol caliber carbine that Glock puts out stock, changing up the magazine system to make it a little thinner, making a single stack or stack and a half 10mm, you know, a 10mm that is the size of a Glock 19 or even closer to a Glock 48. The technology's there. Some companies are doing it. And if Glock would just be a little more innovative and just push the boundaries a little bit more, I think they could keep their king status. But as of now, they've slightly lost it. These other companies are outshining them, and it does make me sad because I still think Glock is one of the best. And like I said, this is one of my carry options. It's a Glock 23, but it's been highly modified. So I would like to see Glock do better. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Am I a traitor to Glock for saying that the Glock 20 is no longer top dog? People love it when I say Springfield is now winning, because a lot of people just hate Glock and their Springfields have been solid. And then a lot of people are saddened when I talk like this because they've had their Gen 4 Glock 20 forever and it's working great. And that's fine. But as of now, today, I think there are better options than Glock. And it's kind of sad, and it surprises me, because 4 or 5 years ago, I would have never said this. But it just shows you what's happening in the industry with all this innovation. So let me know what you guys think. I'll have a video up tomorrow morning on the new Marlin Dark Series 4570. Really happy about that. But thanks for tuning in. Please become a patron if you can. It's Chuke, your friend in the field.
My name is Chuke. I like to trade my guns just for fun, but now I have none. Oh, look, get shot by a bear, but I don't care, I got a 10mm. Chuke's Outdoor Adventures. Watch you all die every time.